Good morning, everybody. Just a couple weeks ago, I made a review video about one of BougeRV's portable camping fridges, which is great, by the way. Well, they also sent me this portable propane water heater, which I thought would be a really cool product to make a review video about. And even though this product was sent to me, this is not a sponsored video. I'm not getting paid. This is an honest review. I'm going to give you my honesty guarantee. And with that being said, I want to start this video by addressing some of the reviews. If we take a look at the Amazon reviews, it's got 3.5 stars with 28 ratings. On their website, 4.8 with 29 ratings. So I took a look at the negative reviews and there were only 4 1-star ratings. 2 people said that it wouldn't ignite. 1 said they think they received a returned unit and the heat would kind of go on and off. And the last said that the propane regulator was bent on arrival. Now, there are plenty of positive reviews as well, so I'm going to do my best to stay unbiased and just test it out and see what happens. Also, if there are certain things that you're looking for, just take a look at the chapters and feel free to skip around. But first, we're going to take a look at what comes in the box. As we open it up, the first thing you'll see is a small box with the accessories. We'll come back to that. Then below that is the water heater, with the instruction manual on top. And then here's what's in the accessory box: the shower head and assembly, the water pump assembly, a 12-volt DC plug, an AC wall plug, the gas regulator to attach the propane, and the shower head bracket clip. Before we take a closer look at it, here are some things that I either wanted to know about it or just had some questions about before I even opened the box. 1, how long does it take to heat up? We'll have to come back to that one with the testing. 2, how is it powered? So there are 3 ways to power it. It has a built-in 2500 milliamp hour battery. And then as you saw with the unboxing, it also came with the AC plug and the DC plug, so you can plug it in as well to power it. Number 3, this is actually something I discovered while researching it, but the pump can actually pump cold water. So if you just want the function of water being pumped through the shower head, but you don't need hot water, you can do that by long pressing the pump button when you're turning it on, and then you'll get cold water through the shower head. And if you do want the hot water, you just short press the pump button. Number 4, how big is it? How much space does it take up? After unboxing it, it's actually smaller than I expected. The dimensions are 12.2 inches tall by 15.7 inches deep by 6.7 inches wide. It weighs in at 13.6 pounds. Also, the shower head attachment is just over 8 feet long and the pump assembly is just under 5 feet long. Number 5, what is the water pressure like? I will show that the best I can with the testing, but the shower head attachment does have 3 water pressure settings as well as a shutoff switch for the water. And then number 6, this isn't necessarily something I was wondering about, but I found it in my research. There are 3 protection settings in which the device will shut down. 1 is to prevent overheating, so if it gets over 122 degrees, the unit will shut down. Another is if the water is not running for 2 minutes, it'll shut down, and then the other one is for tilt protection, so if the heater gets knocked over or something. Okay, now we'll take a closer look at it. First, on the bottom of the unit, there is an on-off power switch. It also does have rubber feet to help keep it stable. On the front, up top, we've got our screen. The flame on the left blinks when ignition is in progress and should be on when it's running. The shower head icon flashes in standby mode and is on when it's running. Then we've got input voltage, battery information, and temperature. Below that is the on-off switch, the pump switch, and the flame size adjustment knob to help control water temperature. This is the power socket for the pump. So the water pump assembly has this cord attached to it, so that would just plug in here. It doesn't need a separate power source. Then this is a fuse socket and the charging port if you want to plug the heater into AC or DC power as opposed to using the built-in battery, also to charge the battery. Then here's the water intake. This connects to the water pump, and this is the water outlet where the shower head goes. On the back of the unit is where the propane goes. The gas regulator goes right into here, and then the propane tank goes into that. On each side, I'm assuming these are for ventilation. The handles on the top are not foldable. I did see a couple reviews from people wishing they could be folded down. Now that we've taken a closer look at it, let's finally set it up and test it out. So for this test, I'm going to fire it up on 3 consecutive days just to try to help test for reliability. Obviously, this is just a short-term test because I just received the heater and I got to get this video out, but at least we'll be able to see if it will work on 3 consecutive days. To set it up, first turn on the switch on the bottom of the heater. Then connect the water pump assembly and the shower head assembly. If you're going to use an external power source, plug it in here. For this test, I'm going to try out the built-in battery. Then install the gas regulator and attach your propane tank. Per the website, the heater can only run on one of these 1-pound propane cylinders. The instructions do say to perform a propane leak test by putting some soapy water on the propane connections, and then if there's any bubbling, there's a leak. Then, of course, you do need a water source. I always carry these 7-gallon water tanks in my truck, and fortunately the water pump fits into the opening. So just put the pump into the water source. Then from there, let's press the on button. We'll start with the temperature set to minimum just to make sure it's not too hot at first. Then tap the pump button. So real quick, this first test became a learning process. So what I did was I hit the on button, I turned on the pump, I could hear the pump starting, but the flame was still blinking, meaning that it was in standby mode. And then what I learned was that the water on the shower head needs to be on and flowing for the water to be heating up. So I was just sitting there waiting for the water to heat up before I turned on the water. But yeah, you actually need to turn on the water from the shower head. That ignites the flame, heats up the water. So let's get into the actual test number 1, where we can see how long it'll take to heat up. The water is still a little bit warm from the learning experience test. So we're going to do the time test to see how long it takes to heat up in test 2 tomorrow. You can hear the pump kick on. And then you can hear the flame kick on. You can hear the flame get louder when I turn it up. And if you look on the right, you can see the temperature going up. That feels nice. Well, that was cool. I would call test 1 a success. It heated up pretty quickly, but we will do the time test tomorrow when we're starting from scratch with the where the water hadn't just been heated up already as well. But yeah, it definitely got pretty warm. So I'm looking forward to coming back out tomorrow for test 2. And then I'll also kind of show you the different settings of the shower head and the different water levels where you can make more or less water come out of the shower head. So we'll take a look at that tomorrow. Good morning, everybody. It is day 2 of testing the water heater. I'm hoping everything will go a little bit more smoothly today since I know what I'm doing this time. I've already got everything all hooked up, so let's get right into the test. I'm gonna put up 2 timers, one from when I hit the pump button and another from when the water turns on. I tried turning on the water right away, but the pump needed more time to kick in. The water got pretty hot. It felt great. And then as I changed it from medium to high, it just kept staying about the same. I turned the water off for a sec, and then when I turned it back on, it then started to lower. That was fantastic yet again. So far, so good with the testing. Right away, when I press the button to turn on the water, the flame ignites and it got hot extremely quickly. So far, so good. I just want to show you a little bit more about the shower head regarding the water pressure and the different levels of spray. So for this part, I'm not going to turn on the heat. So for that, we'll turn it on and I'm going to hold the pump button until I hear the pump kick in. There it goes. That was probably about 5 or 6 seconds or so. So right here on the shower head, this is the stop button. So right now the water is not running. And then you can turn this dial to get more or less pressure. So right now there would be no water. And then if I turn it, that is the maximum pressure. And then that will turn it off. Or if you've got it on, you can hit this button and that'll stop it as well. And then putting it back on the side here, we've got 3 different patterns. So that's one. And then that's another spray pattern. And then a more narrow spray pattern. So 1, 2, 3. I kind of like this one the best. I think this would be the best if I was doing a shower. But then I guess if you're washing dishes, it's more of a direct spray. So that one's pretty good as well. So yeah, just wanted to show you that so you could see a little bit more details about the sprayer. So that is it for day 2 of testing. I think tomorrow I'll bring out a portable power station and just see how it runs off of that. And then maybe I'll run it a little bit longer as well. But that is it for now. I will see you tomorrow. Good morning, everybody. Day 3 of testing. I've got everything set up once again, and I've got it plugged into the portable power station this morning. So let's take a look and see how it works today. I figured I'd throw another timer on there from the time I hit the pump button. You still just got to give the pump a few seconds before the water is ready to come out. There we go, and within seconds, the water got hot. It's already hot. On low, the water temperature seems to be about 70-ish. As I turn it up to the max, you can hear the flame get louder, but it was only getting back up to about 95. I had to make sure I turned it up all the way. I turned the water off and then back on, but it was staying just above 90. And then I was just trying to mess with the temperature setting a little bit.
That's probably good.
Test 3 complete. I'm going to give you my conclusion and final thoughts back in the office. First of all, this is definitely a product I will be making a follow-up video on. It'll probably be a little while, maybe 6 to 8 months or so, but keep an eye out for that next year. Obviously, for now, I can only speak on this initial testing, but I really didn't encounter many problems. To start with that, the only issues that I can think of, in that last test, as you saw, the water temperature was about 100 degrees when I had it in the middle, and then when I turned it to high, it was kind of staying between 90 and 100. I could hear the flame getting louder, so I don't know if it was just me being impatient. But then we also saw something like that in the second test where the temperature when you had it on medium or high was kind of staying around the same for a while. It seems like maybe if you just finagle with the dial a little bit or turn the water off and on, Then it kind of self-corrected there. So again, I don't know if it was just being a little finicky or if I just needed to wait a little bit longer. The only other complaint I can think of for now is the little clip that holds the shower head just seems a little bit cheap and not quite high quality enough. It just doesn't support the weight of the shower head well enough. I feel like they did such a good job with the water heater, but then just cut corners a little bit with that clip. Besides that, my first impression was great. I am very impressed with this thing, and it heated up the water quicker than I expected. It's pretty compact, and one of the biggest considerations that I have with my gear is ease of setup. My plan is to store this securely in my truck bed and keep everything plugged in already except for the propane. So when I go to use it, all I'll have to do is put the pump in the water source and attach the propane, and then it'll be ready to go. So I think it'll be a lot more convenient to use than I initially imagined. I really hope this video gave you a better understanding of this water heater, and based on my initial impression, I would see no reason not to give it a try. Again, I will make a follow-up video probably early to mid-summer 2025. If you did find this video helpful, please hit that like button and consider subscribing to my channel for more outdoorsy content and reviews. That's it for now. Thanks for watching. See you next time.